Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X-Men Gaming. I'm Andrew, and tonight I want to talk about Horizon Forbidden West. Okay, so we have exactly, like literally 4 days until I can start playing this game, and yeah, this is so. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. This is just my feelings, how I'm feeling about this right now, trying to contain my hype and keep it down, you know, because I'm hyped about this game. I really liked and enjoyed the first game and the experience that I got. And when I looked at, you know, because I finally downloaded on my PlayStation 5. I finally have the full version of that. I downloaded the PlayStation 4 version as well, so I could, you know, kind of do somewhat of a comparison, you know, because I mean I'll be playing the PS4 version and backward compatibility on the PlayStation 5, so I could kind of get a general sense of how that's going to look and how that's going to run on the PlayStation 4 Pro at least. So that's kind of interesting, but this game is 87 gigabytes on the PlayStation 5. And it's like 79 gigs on the PlayStation 4. So I'm just kind of wondering, man, that's like twice the size of the first game. So I'm wondering if this world is truly going to be bigger, like they're talking about. If this world is going to be bigger, that freaking excites me. Like, that really excites me. I love big open world games. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I love big open world games. I do like the way that, you know, PlayStation can bring those stories. I mean, they're really impactful. So playing a game like Horizon Zero Dawn twice, that never really appealed to me, and I've been playing around with it. I've been trying to go back in there, and I can't do it. For some reason, I just cannot play through that game a second time, and that kind of bugs me, you know, because it really does. It comes and it really brings out that one and done stereotype that PlayStation first party games get. It's just they're so good and they're so big and they're so stretched out that replaying them, I mean, they never have the same impact twice. So it's really hard to get in there and play them. And when you really do kind of look at these worlds after you've already been through them, they feel smaller in a sense, because, like, say, take Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because that's probably the game that I'll compare this to when it comes out. I'll probably put Valhalla up and, you know, kind of compare, like, the world and what you can do, because on Valhalla I can climb to any point I want to climb and look out all over the vistas. You can't necessarily do that in games like Horizon Forbidden West. You can't climb whatever you want to climb. You can't go wherever you want to go. You are stuck in defined. Even though the game is open world, it still feels like a linear experience, because there's really not much you can do. Like, yeah, you can look at all the walls on the side and stuff, and it feels like you're in a fishbowl when it comes to a PlayStation first party open world game. The first game that's come out that I didn't feel like I was in a fishbowl, honestly, was Ghost of Tsushima. And for me, I want Horizon Forbidden West to feel like an open world experience. I don't want it to feel like a fishbowl. I want it to feel big and grand. Even The Witcher 3 doesn't feel like a witch bowl or a fishbowl. And I've heard somebody, you know, say that this game is like that. And man, if this game feels like a linear experience, that's going to be disappointing to me, because, oh man, I have so much anxiety about this game right now. It's not even funny. I have so much anxiety about this, because this is the game that's seriously going to make or break how I feel about PlayStation 5 going forward. And like I have a lot of anxiety about it. I want this game to be great. I want it to look amazing. I want it to look amazing in the 60 frames a second mode. I would love to be able to play Horizon Forbidden West on my 4K TV like I can with Assassin's Creed Valhalla in the 60 frames a second mode and be like, yeah, this is great. You know, because I know that the 60 FPS mode on Valhalla isn't 60 frames a second, and it doesn't look the same on the PlayStation 5 as it does on the Xbox. The Xbox has brighter, more vibrant, better looking colors and holds a higher resolution most of the time, and it just looks better on my Xbox Series X. But when I play it on my PlayStation 5, it just feels darker and the colors are muted, and it just doesn't have that same atmosphere that the Xbox version has. It feels like, I don't know. I just like the way that that Assassin's Creed looks better on the Xbox. And that's just me. It just looks a little bit. I mean, it kind of does look sharp, crisp on the PlayStation 5, but it has like a softer, cleaner, higher resolution tone on the Xbox. I don't even know how to make sense out of that, because it feels like the Xbox version just has more like atmosphere to it, where the PlayStation 5 version just does not really give me that sense of like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I get that on the Xbox. I don't get that on the PlayStation 5. And I think it does have something to do with how the PlayStation produces like its HDR or something, the way it just like it kind of makes some scenes like darker, and it makes the contrast, a little bit different. I don't know. Man, as you can tell, me making this video right now, there's a lot riding on Horizon Forbidden West for me on the PlayStation, man. I freaking love the first game. Now, I've watched some of the stuff, that's just, I've only watched the stuff on the PlayStation. I've been, like, going through those today and like, looking at them and stuff, and seeing some of the new videos that they've put out, like Meet the Cast and stuff like that. And that's pretty intriguing to me. Like, there's some pretty renowned people that are cast in this game, and I think it's going to come together pretty good. Story-wise, I don't have any worries about the story-wise, story content being good. And most of the stuff that I can see in the world, like, it does look amazing. It does look pretty dang good, and I'm pretty hyped about that. My two biggest things are I haven't seen how this game looks and runs in 60 frames a second. That kind of worries me a little bit, because I do kind of feel like this game is going to be 1080p upscaled maybe to 1440p, and that kind of freaks me out a little bit. Like, if they're going to do 1080p, just do native 1080p. Don't do like the checkerboard upscaling. I think that's going to take more from the game than actually add to it. But we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll definitely see. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts on this right now. I'm really looking forward to this game, and there's just a lot. I've been playing some of my other PlayStation 5 games today. I've been playing on the PlayStation, a little bit today, and I don't know, man. I want to be able to enjoy my PlayStation experience, and I feel like if Horizon Forbidden West can come out and blow me away and be that experience that's like, whoa, yeah, this is great, maybe it'll help change my mindset about the PlayStation a little bit. Maybe it'll give me hope. Maybe it'll make things better. But I kind of feel like between that and Gran Turismo 7, because let's face it, man, Gran Turismo 7, the cars are going to look amazing. The trackside detail, even John Linneman on Digital Foundry, I watched their little thing talking about it, and even he says the trackside detail just doesn't hold up. And I'm like, gosh, dude, finally this guy gets it. He understands what I'm talking about. It's so distracting when your beautiful, highly crafted car looks like it's driving around on a plastic freaking track. It looks out of place. It doesn't freaking look right. And that's why I love and appreciate Forza 7 so much more, because it's consistent. The cars might not be as highly detailed as they are in Gran Turismo, but I'll tell you what, at 4K, I can't tell. I really have a hard time telling. With both of them on my 4K TV and the Xbox looking sharp, crystal clear, native 4K with consistent visuals all across, I don't get broken from the immersion. When I'm playing Gran Turismo 7 on my PlayStation 5 on my 4K TV, it looks washed out, it looks fuzzy, it just doesn't look right. When I'm playing Gran Turismo on my monitor, it looks a lot better. but you could still see that the trackside detail looks plastic. It looks fake. And man, it's these little things, that yeah, man, I'm a graphics whore. I care about the dang visuals of these games a lot. Dying Light 2 was literally my first experience where I had to look at that game from all different angles. I had to look at that from the bigger picture. And I came to the conclusion that, yeah, this is a good game, you should buy it. And I stand by that. I do stand by that. I was able to complete that game. I had a solid experience all the way through, but the resolution on that game was 1080p native. It wasn't upscaled, it wasn't checkerboarded. It was 100% native resolution, so it turned out to be okay. It turned out to be acceptable. The gameplay in the game was so good and it was so immersive that the 1080p didn't break my immersion very often. There's a couple rough spots in that game that just look like, wow, dude, is this Xbox Series X or is this PlayStation 2 or something, And I'm like, wow, dude, that doesn't hold up that great. So like I said, my conclusion for Dying Light 2 is still, yeah, it's a solid experience. The gameplay definitely carries that game all the way through. 100% the gameplay. And the visuals don't look bad most of the time. Even in 1080p, they hold up pretty well. They hold up pretty well on a 4K TV. Set your brightness down a little bit, and it definitely looks even better. So, I mean, there's ways to mitigate that so it's not so distracting to be on the 1080p. Most of the time when you're playing, you're looking like really close to your character anyways. You're not like really gazing out there in the distance looking at everything that looks kind of blurry. So, man, yeah. 4 days. I'm taking Friday off to play this game. I will have content up, at least of first impressions, before I go to bed on Friday or on Thursday night. I'm really looking forward to this. I do not plan to tear this game down whatsoever. I'm going to talk about things that might stand out to me. If it does come out at 1080p native, then I'll be happy to play that on my monitor. I will play it on my 4K TV, and I will give you my impressions on that. But as it sits, I don't necessarily. I'm pretty sure the story content and the gameplay is gonna take that one home for me too. So yeah, it just sucks, man. I'm having a hard time playing games at 30 frames a second this generation for some reason, and I don't completely understand why that's happening. They just feel more stuttery on my 4K TV. It just they're not feeling right. It feels like it's flickering a lot to me now. After seeing games playing at 60 frames a second, so consistently since I got the Series X. Even on the PlayStation 5, I'm seeing pretty consistent 60 FPS. So it's just getting harder to try. I'm really having a problem with having to choose. I don't want to have to choose beautiful visuals over FPS, because let's face it, the biggest selling point of PlayStation games is beauty. Sorry, it is, and there's no way you can get around that. There's not. Like, PlayStation games are known for their beauty and not necessarily their gameplay, because they don't necessarily change as much. So I don't know, that's just where I'm at with this one. So if you like this content, there's got to be something up there for you to watch, and I'll see you in the next one.